Okay. Now, making this video because I want to document, obviously, like, I've got goals. I'm trying to get to Thailand, as you already know if you've watched the last videos. Now, my goal from here is to document the process that I'm taking to actually making that a reality. Because I'm essentially starting from zero right now. Like, I don't have a lot of money, and I want to get there within the next 2 to 3 months. So I want to show you what is actually possible when you take shit seriously and you keep the promises that you make to yourself, and you take that by the balls and you fucking go for it, and you truly you commit everything that you have to that goal. So the goal, hoping you can read this, fucking turn on, hoping you can read this. Looks like it's backwards. Oh well, have to deal with it. The goal was Thailand by October 1st. So in order to, there's a few things we need to think about here, right? So currently where I'm at is I have about $3,000 in my bank account, and I have about $3,000 give or take in crypto. So I don't know what that's going to look like in October. Obviously with crypto it's up and down, but at the moment let's assume I have around $5,000 that I can play with, right? Now, in order to move to Thailand, one, I need to have a way of making money, and two, I need to have a decent savings account to support myself as, last precaution, so I don't get stuck over there. Now, my goal is anywhere from 15 to 20,000 liquid cash in the bank that I can touch or use as needed when I'm over there, just to eventually get myself set up. So 15 to 20k. So essentially I need to make a minimum of $10,000, $10,000 to $15,000 in the next 3 months, so $5,000 a month from here on out. Now, that is more than I've actually made in the past year, or almost, in the past 6 months of actually like getting into full-time, make money online sales, remote sales, that space, right? I've only recently just started actually making decent money, which is right now around $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So there's a few things that we need to take into account. So first off, I'm moving over there full time. I'm not going over there for a holiday. I'm going over there full time to really focus on my personal brand and actually fucking build myself a life that I actually fucking care about and that I actually fucking want, and something that I can actually be proud of in the future, something that's going to give me the freedom and help me accomplish my bigger goals in life as well. So the whole reason of moving to Thailand is purely for the personal branding and networking aspect of it, getting uncomfortable, putting myself in a space where I don't have people to support myself with, or surround myself with people who I already know. Like, I'm going to a completely foreign country, I've never been there in my life, and I'm gonna make a name for myself when I'm over there. So I need 15 to 20k. So now my idea, so I have a car I can sell. Rough value estimation, if I was going to sell it, I'd want 10 grand for it. Like, it is a decent car. It's an Audi A4 2011 model. So it's a decent car. But looking on the markets at the moment, it's kind of worth anywhere from 8 to 11,000 maybe. So 10 grand is on the higher end. Worst case scenario is I just do it for 9, get 9 for it, and then obviously I'm gonna sell my desk and my setup. So as you can see here, standing desk. I'll sell that, and then I'm probably gonna sell these 2 monitors here as well. So 10 grand is on the higher end. Worst case scenario is I just do it for 9, get 9 for it, and then obviously I'm gonna sell my desk and my setup. So as you can see here, standing desk. I'll sell that, and then I'm probably gonna sell these 2 monitors here as well. once I've sold those, I think for the desk and the monitors, let's round it up to roughly around 1,000. Like this desk cost me like, $600, $700. Two monitors are like 300 each. I might not get that, but we'll say $900, right? So we've got car, which is, well, let's say all up, car, desk, monitors, we'll say 10 grand flat. Now, I have other things I can sell. So I have a PS5 I can sell. What's that? So like $300 maybe. PS5, $300. What else can I sell? I don't really know what else. Maybe just any excess furniture I have. Bed frame, chest of drawers, that kind of shit. To be honest, I'll say $150 for that. Like, I don't think I'll get much for it. In fact, I'll probably just give it to my brother anyway. But I mean, we'll put it in there. $150, whatever. So what's that put me at? That puts me at 10,500 that I can sell and I can get before I leave. So I have just under 5,000 at the moment that I can leverage. So currently, if I did sell everything I own and use my current savings, I would have about $15,000. Now, obviously, that's not really enough, and I do need to make a few investments before I go there as well, such as flights. Need to put a deposit down for accommodation, and then also need to buy a camera, and a good camera. I've already done the research. The camera's going to be about $3.5 grand for a fucking good one, which I'm going to use for the personal brand. It's an investment that I'm willing to make because I know that that can definitely help me in the long run for sure. So before I go, I'll make a buy list. So camera, $3,500. Flights, I mean, it's only going to be a one way, so I'll say maximum of, surely it's going to be no more than $1,000. Like, it can't be. And then deposit for rent. For the first month, I'll say $800. So what does that put me at? That puts me at 3.5, 4.5, 5.3. Okay, so that's $5,300 worth of expenses, which basically puts me back at ground zero. I also have a trip to New Zealand coming up as well, so I need to have money aside for that. I need to take that into account. So the New Zealand trip is going to be quite expensive. I've been planning that for like almost over a year now. 6 months, sorry. So that was an idea way before I even thought about moving, and I've already put a lot of money into that for flights, accommodation. So there isn't much point in pulling out now. I'd be better off just going, having a good time. Everything's pretty much paid for. It's just spending money that's left, which I'll just go over on like a tight budget. Still enjoy myself, but obviously have that in the back of my mind that I could be using this money to get myself to Thailand, etc. But roughly, if I'm being generous, that's going to be $7,300 of expenses before I actually leave. So where does that put me at? It puts me at minus 2,000 at the moment, currently. So I have, by the time I make the money for my car, my desk, PS5, furniture, monitors, all that stuff, I'll be at around 10,500. So that's going to leave me with 8,000 roughly. So this is, by the time I take all my expenses out, I sell everything I own, I'll be $8,000 in profit, liquid roughly. So that's where I'm at now. And I need to be between 15 and 20. So that means I need to make, let's aim for $12,000 in the next 3 months. So what does that look like? 12,000 divided by 3. So that's about $4,000 a month that I need to make. Now, I'm roughly averaging around $2,000 to $3,000 from the appointment setting job that I'm doing at the moment. So if I can do that, I'm not going to count on that money, but let's say a minimum of 2,000 a month, right? Let's say that 2, 4, 6. So that's $6,000 that I can make there. That's half of it. Now I need something that I can do on the side that's going to make me the same. My idea that I came up with was going around and cleaning gutters. How people's, like on the house, their gutters, all the shit that gets fucking stuck in them. At the moment it's winter in Australia, so it's probably a good time for people to be cleaning their gutters. And I'm going to charge $200 per gutter clean. Now, I need to make 6,000. Now I need to make 6,000 in 3 months. So 2,000 every month, which means, and if I'm charging $200 per gutter clean, that means I need to do 10 gutter cleans in a month. So 10 gutter cleans in a month. Now, divide that by 4. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's about 2 to 3 gutter cleans every week. So that is my plan right now. I'm going to sell everything I own and I'm going to get some money from that. I'm going to invest in a few things to help me with the personal branding side of things, camera. Obviously I need to buy flights to Thailand. I need to get a deposit, accommodation, and then I have the New Zealand holiday coming up that I have to take into account before I leave. So those are all expenses there. And that's going to leave me, if I've counted everything correctly, $8,000 in profit by the time I do all of those things. So that leaves me with $12,000 that I need to make in the next 3 months in order to have a healthy savings account by the time I get to Thailand, which will be 15 to 20,000, somewhere in there. And from there, I'll be able to make a passive income through remote sales, doing it online while I'm working over there. And then obviously just filming the lifestyle, what I'm doing for the personal brand side of things. So at the moment, 2K I'm making roughly a month from remote sales, which will scale up as I get better as well. So keep that into account. I could start making more from there in the next 3 months. I'm sure I will, but I'm just going to take it into worst case scenario so I have a baseline. And on the side, as a side hustle, I'm going to do gutter cleaning for people. So I'm just going to go around to people, ask them if they need their gutter cleaned, and I'm going to charge $200 per house. And that's going to, I need to make another $6,000 from that in the next 3 months. So then dividing the 6 by 3, which is going to be $2,000 a month, which $2,000 divided by 200, which is what I'm charging for the jobs. Each job is going to be 10 jobs every month. 10 jobs divided by 4 is going to be 2 to 3 jobs every week. So in order to get that, I'm going to set up some Facebook ads. I'll put a little bit of money into them. I'll put about maybe $200-300. If I can get 1 job booked from that, perfect, or at least 2 jobs, which means I'll be profitable. If I can do that, then I can start scaling the ads up to the point where I can get 2 to 3 jobs booked in every week. So I'm going to get those going hopefully today, tomorrow, get those ads pumping, start getting some bookings some jobs booked in on the calendar that I can do probably just on the weekends or something like that, or I don't know, maybe during the week. I don't know, I'll figure that out. And in the meantime, I'm going to focus on remote sales, trying to make minimum $2,000 a month, which, what's that, $500 a week. That's 2 closes a week. At the moment, I'm averaging between 2 to 3 grand. So yeah, that's what I'm focusing on right now. But I wanted to make this video to highlight the plan that I have in place for myself to get closer to my goals. Because I know one day when I am fucking, 10 levels ahead of where I am now, I've built a personal brand. It'll be cool to watch this back and to see where I started and, where my head was at. And, hopefully you guys can watch this and actually feel inspired and, maybe even follow in the same footsteps that I'm doing right now, and, be willing to get uncomfortable and put yourself in a foreign country that is, you don't really have any ties to, you've never been there before, in search of, pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone and actually, going for your goals, and not letting life just dictate and say, this is the job you need to work for the rest of your life, and then you just end up hating the rest of your life because you do that. Like, take a risk on yourself, especially when you're my age. Like, I'm 22. Actually, I'm going to be 23 tomorrow. It's currently the 11th of July, 2025. So yeah, the main reason I wanted to, actually make this happen and push really hard for, at least fucking giving it a crack and moving there, is because the fact that I'm 23 tomorrow, and, I don't want to look back on my 20s when I get to 30 and say, hey, I could have done a lot more with my life. I could have taken more risks. So, I want to take those risks now, because I know that there's a lot more room for a reward. And the worst thing that happens is, man, I end up back where I am now, living with my mum, basically got no money. And yeah, that's the worst that's going to happen, to be honest. So I'm taking the risk. I'm going to make it fucking happen. I'm going to build a sick personal brand, and I'm going to help my family. I'm going to retire my family. I'm going to build something that I fucking care about, and yeah, man, I'm going to fucking leave an impact on the world. I truly believe that in my whole heart. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm working towards. But anyway, that's the plan at the moment, and see you boys in the next video.